So I just wanted to stress this before we get into all these different strategies of how you can get sponsorships. It's so important that you understand that if you are asking a business for money, they have to have visibility, which means you have to be visible. That's either online or offline. Some of you might not be online people. You can be an offline, in person kind of visibility that's like boots on the ground. Like, that's great. But it has to be one of them. You can't just go play cornhole and hide. And you have to be super out and into the world, whether that's online, offline, or both. And it doesn't mean you have to be, extroverted if you're introverted. It doesn't mean you have to be loud if you're quiet. It's not about changing who you are. You get to be you, but you have to do it in front of an audience of people. Otherwise, you're not bringing that business any value. So it's so important that when we start talking about these things, it's okay for you to admit to yourself, I just don't think I want to be that visible. Well, then we need to really be careful about what we're asking of businesses, because if you're not going to be visible, how do you get them any value? So just know that hiding and just playing cornhole isn't going to be enough. You have to be willing to be out there in the world and seen so that these businesses get value from you. So there's some types of sponsorships. There's obviously going to be local sponsorships. So that's going to be the small to mid-sized businesses that are in your community. So restaurants, salons, gyms, contractors, realtors, pet stores, clinics, anything you could think of that you could drive around your town and see, or the services that you already use. This is going to be about 1 to 50 employees, and they're going to sponsor because of community goodwill, name recognition, referrals, and they need in-person exposure and visibility at events, and even just some local pride. Like, hey, we're, such and such tires, and we support Mike. Like, he's a cornhole player. Like, we're really happy to be a part of his journey. And so that kind of like local pride that's happening in that town. It's best for local pros, amateurs, or those hosting charity events. So this is one of those things to think about. If you are not a top player or not a pro, you can still get local sponsors because you're still out in the community doing things, and that's valuable. Even if you don't win, if you're one of the type of people that maybe you're even a competitive player, but you go to a lot of cornhole events, that's valuable to a local business, because if you're out there just talking to people and you're like, oh man, I had the best burgers, you got to go here, and you're just the person that they come to for recommendations, that's so valuable, right? And they trust you because you're a local cornhole player like they are. So don't feel like you have to be just killing it on the boards to get sponsorships. If you are someone who's out in your community, local sponsors are going to love you. So keep that in mind. So, did I just list more here? Okay, here's some more. Local sporting goods stores, custom jersey and apparel printers, nutrition or supplement brands, outdoor camping stores, pet supply stores, workwear brands, veteran-owned product owns, local sneaker or streetwear shops, local barbecue joints. You get the point. All the different businesses in your area. I'm not going to read them all. They're going to go there. They're just going to keep listing it. All these different places, right? Just think of all the different things in your area. You could even go on LinkedIn and type in your city and just look at all the different businesses if you're a LinkedIn person. Now, if we start to go to national, so it's going to be mid-sized companies with a bigger reach in the US, but not too corporate. I don't recommend going, I know it'd be great to get, Bud Light to sponsor or whatever, but let's go a little bit smaller than that. We're talking 50 to 250 employees. Could be consumer packaged goods, apparel, tools, tech, direct-to-consumer brands. This is a good time to go into your credit card bank statement and just look at the places you spend money. Not the enormous companies, but what are some of the companies that are smaller? Like, for example, there's we really like this smaller pet food company. I don't think they're massive, at least not to my knowledge. That could be maybe a smaller company. And I'll tell you a tip in a little bit of a resource you can use, that you can actually go and look at the size of companies, how many employees they make, how many employees they have, how much money they make, and you can kind of get an idea of, is this company too big for me to approach? Is this the right size? So you can kind of find that ideal situation. Okay. Why do they sponsor? Cause-driven storytelling, which I'm going to explain in a little bit, community visibility, and human connection, right? Being part of this community, this cornhole community that they don't have any access to without you, theoretically. especially if it's like example of the pet food company, right? Like, how is this pet food company going to break into the cornhole audience if I'm not the one to do it, right? I'm the person, I'm the bridge that can introduce that pet food to all these cornhole people. They need creative campaigns, brand consistency, and wider exposure. And this is best for pro players or standout campaigns or players with a strong brand fit. And this means that if you are not a pro and you're not a top player, this can still work for you. Once again, if you are someone that's willing to travel, that's very visible, that's valuable. I think so often we think we have to be the best player on the boards or we have to get wins to be valuable to a business, and that's not the case. So think creatively about how you can support a business because you are in this unique community. And then this is a tight knit community. You guys know that. Like, once you come into this community, you're in, right? So if you're talking about a business to all the people around you, they're going to trust that that's a business they should check out. And then, of course, the most common is going to be cornhole brands. So these are, companies already inside the cornhole world, and they are going to be bag makers, board builders, apparel brands, accessory companies, smallest mid-size, obviously niche. They need audience trust. They need product placement. They need peer influence, right? So this is, if a cornhole brand is trying to pick a sponsored player, they are going to pick top pros, right? They are going to pick someone who, that person just won that enormous tournament with those bags. I want those bags. So this is kind of the only one that I think your level of play really matters. All the other ones don't. And I don't think this is the place where you spend most of your energy anyway. So they need podium posts. They need product use. They need community visibility. This is the only time I think it actually matters if you're getting wins, if you're getting on, if you're getting those podium picks. The other ones, it doesn't matter.